It's okay, little one. We have to go now!
The planet Thalrex was not a place most humans would ever visit. Orbiting a dim orange star on the far edges of Coalition space, Thalrex was a rugged world of jagged mountains, violet forests, and endless silver rivers that carved through ancient stone valleys. The atmosphere was breathable but thin, and the wildlife was notorious for being both intelligent and extremely territorial. But for 12-year-old Mira Collins, Thalrex was home. Her parents were xenobiologists stationed at the Coalition research settlement known as Outpost Lantern, a small cluster of domed buildings surrounded by tall defense towers and sensor grids. The station existed for one purpose: to study the dominant life forms of the planet, the Velkhari clans. The Velkhari were unlike anything humanity had encountered before. Standing nearly 8 feet tall on powerful hind legs, they had sleek fur the color of storm clouds, glowing blue eyes, and long sweeping tails that helped them balance as they ran across cliffs and forests with impossible agility. Their claws could tear through metal. Their hearing could track prey kilometers away. And yet they were not simply predators. They had culture, clans, families, hierarchy, which made them far more dangerous than any animal. Coalition law strictly forbade contact with them. Every scientific observation had to be done from drones, satellites, or long-distance sensors. But rules didn't mean much to a curious 12-year-old. Mira had grown up hearing the howls of Velkhari echo through the forests every night. To her, they were mysterious neighbors rather than monsters. Still, she respected the boundaries. Most of the time, on the day everything changed, Mira had wandered a little farther from Outpost Lantern than she normally did. Her mother thought she was studying soil samples near the perimeter fence. Instead, Mira had slipped through a maintenance gate and followed a small stream into the forest. She wasn't trying to break rules. She was chasing a sound, a strange whining cry that carried through the trees like a wounded animal calling for help. Mira pushed aside the tall violet grass and stepped into a clearing. The sound came again, weak, pained. She followed it carefully until she reached a fallen tree trunk. And that's when she saw it. A Velkhari cub. It was small compared to the adults she had seen in research footage, maybe the size of a large wolf. Its fur was lighter than the adults, silver instead of dark gray, and its bright blue eyes were squeezed shut in pain. One of its back legs was twisted badly beneath it. Mira's heart dropped.
Oh no!
The cub tried to stand when it saw her. It collapsed immediately with a pitiful whimper. Every warning Mira had ever heard flashed through her mind. Never approach Velkhari young. Adults will kill anything near them. Leave immediately. But the cub looked so helpless. And Mira had inherited something from her parents. A stubborn refusal to walk away from something injured. She knelt slowly beside it. "Hey, it's okay," she whispered. The cub bared tiny teeth and let out a weak growl. It sounded more scared than threatening. "I know," Mira said softly. "You don't know me." She carefully reached into the small backpack she carried. Inside were basic field supplies her parents had taught her to use. Bandages, antiseptic, a compact splint. The cub tried to snap at her hand when she touched the injured leg. "Hey, hey!" Mira said quickly. "Hold still or this will hurt more." She worked slowly, gently, talking the entire time. "My dad says bones heal faster when they're stabilized, and my mom says if I don't stop wandering into the forest, she'll ground me for a year." The cub watched her, confused. The pain slowly faded as the splint tightened around its leg. After a few minutes, the cub stopped struggling. When Mira finished tying the final bandage, she leaned back and smiled. There, that should help. The cub carefully tried to stand. This time it didn't collapse. It limped slightly, but stayed upright. Its glowing blue eyes studied Mira closely. Then it made a soft chirping sound. Mira grinned. "You're welcome." She stood up. "Now go find your family before they think I kidnapped you." The cub tilted its head. Then it turned and disappeared into the trees. Mira brushed dirt from her knees. "Well, that was probably a terrible idea," she muttered. She turned to head back toward the outpost, and froze. The forest had gone silent. Every instinct in her body screamed that something very large was nearby. A low rumble vibrated through the ground. Then another, and another. Massive shapes began emerging from the shadows between the trees. Velkhari. Dozens of them. Towering figures stepped into the clearing, their glowing eyes fixed on the small humans standing alone. Mira's throat went dry. "Oh." The largest Velkhari moved forward. Its fur was dark as midnight, and long scars crossed its powerful shoulders. The clan leader, the Alpha. It lowered its massive head slightly and sniffed the air. Its gaze shifted to the splint Mira had made, then to the cub that had reappeared behind her. The little Velkhari limped proudly toward the Alpha and made a series of excited chirping sounds. The adults listened. Their eyes slowly turned back to Mira. The Alpha stepped closer. Every logical thought told Mira she should run, but she couldn't move. The towering creature stopped only a few feet away. For a long moment it simply stared down at her. Then something extraordinary happened. The Alpha lowered its massive head until its forehead touched the ground. One by one, every Velkhari in the clearing followed. The entire clan bowed. Mira blinked. "Wait, what?" The cub trotted over and sat beside her proudly. The Alpha rose again and released a deep melodic howl. It echoed across the valley like a declaration. High above the planet, Coalition observation satellites captured the moment. Within hours, the footage reached the central government. Scientists replayed it again and again in disbelief, because Velkhari clans had never shown submission to another species. Until now, back in the forest, Mira scratched the cub gently behind its ears. "You told them I helped you, huh?" The cub chirped happily. The Alpha stepped forward again. This time it spoke, not with words, but with a series of deep, harmonic tones. Mira didn't understand the language, but she understood the meaning. The clan leader lowered its head once more, a gesture of loyalty. The message spread quickly through Coalition space. A human child had done something entire diplomatic teams had failed to achieve. She had earned the trust of one of the galaxy's most powerful predator clans, not through strength, not through weapons, but through kindness. Back at Outpost Lantern, Mira's parents nearly fainted when she returned with an entire Velkhari clan escorting her home. The cub trotted proudly at her side. Coalition diplomats would later spend years trying to understand what had happened that day. But the Velkhari never complicated the explanation. To them, the answer was simple. The human girl had protected one of their own when she had no reason to. Among Velkhari culture, that meant only one thing. She was family, and Velkhari clans protected family forever. Across the galaxy, civilizations began to understand something important about humanity. Humans didn't conquer loyalty, they earned it. Sometimes with nothing more than a bandage, and the courage to help a wounded cub.